What's up, guys? All right, so I just finished watching the Alien Isolation IGN review. I'm gonna jump right into the Alien Isolation 2 gameplay review from IGN. See what they have to say. Oops.
12 years is a long wait to play the sequel to one of your favorite games of all time. During that decade-plus stretch,
So they have someone else reviewing this, which is smart, and it sounds like they have someone who actually likes the franchise.
replayed the original Alien Isolation multiple times, analysed its incredible level design, and even addressed that review score in my own glowing appraisal of gaming's unique, unrivaled nightmare. So you can imagine that, as I picked up the controller
There's no defending that review.
in a dark room at Developer Creative Assembly's headquarters, my mind was awash with excitement, spiked with anxiety. Would my first taste of the long-awaited, once-thought impossible Alien Isolation 2 be everything I hoped for? Much like a truncated version of Alien Romulus, the half-hour demo of Isolation sequel is gorgeous, faithful, frightening, and also deeply familiar. Perhaps a little too familiar. That sense of deja vu is partly down to the fact that most of this demo, taken from the game's opening, unfolds within the Project KG-348 laboratory, the very same module ejected from Sevastopol Station during the events of the first game. We've quite literally been here before. But not like this, we haven't. Before I crack the seal on the lab, let's rewind to the demo's very first moments. Rather than Isolation's original protagonist,
I'm glad he picked up on it. A lot of people missed that in the trailer. Oh, is this a new area? I'm like, literally the same lab go through in the first game and inject the alien.
Amanda Ripley, I see the world through the eyes of a new character, Blake. She's part of Weyland Yutani's army of managers, and she has arrived on planet LV-921 in search of that aforementioned lab. A lab, should you need reminding, that was jettisoned because it had a xenomorph trapped inside it. But before Blake comes face to face with the universe's perfect organism, she must first face something new and perhaps even scarier: the outdoors. The major difference between this sequel and its predecessor is lifted directly from the movies. As in Aliens, Isolation 2 takes place on terra firma rather than in space. You'll be moving back and forth between the confines of Kurosaki Station and the exposed landscapes of LV-921's distressed, eerie surface. During an interview with IGN, creative director Al Hope promised me an interesting dynamic between interior and exterior spaces, with each exerting their own method of pressure. However, in the safety of this heavily scripted opening, I'm unable to experience any of that.
Yeah, so it should be interesting to see that it's not solely going to take place in space. Yeah, hopefully it's good. Hopefully, I wonder what they're gonna do, like, or with addressing the ending of Alien Isolation 1, Amanda, and maybe we'll get to play both of them. So yeah.
I slowly inch through long dead woodland, following burning embers and broken trees towards a huge metal structure that has clearly punched through the atmosphere and half buried itself in the planet's surface. With a lack of lockers and vents to hide in, I imagine this journey would feel terrifying if the alien were loose among the branches. But without
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, how are you supposed to run and hide? But yeah, like you said, a lot of it was scripted. We'll see. We'll see.
such a threat, the sequence feels much like the fairly relaxed planetside flashbacks of the original game, just without the weight of a spacesuit slowing me down. The Siegson design access lever, recessed into the hull of the crash structure, makes it immediately clear we're not rehashing the Nostromo crew's egg inspection mission. This thing is reassuringly familiar, reassuringly human, and as the hatch opens and I descend the ladder, it's like I'm walking through my own memories of 2014. While the results of Creative Assembly's recreation of Project KG-348's curving red panel corridor isn't quite as dramatic as, say, Metal Gear Solid Delta's updated clone of Groznygrad, it nonetheless provokes a similar reaction. I'm momentarily impressed by the graphical upgrade, but then gripped by instincts that have lain dormant for a decade, as if waiting on standby for this very return. Before the horrors begin, the objectives ease me back into Isolation's fundamentals. The power is out.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought that was really cool aspect in general, movie, video games, whatever, where you're kind of forced to revisit a familiar place, but now it's like run down or whatever. It's changed a little bit, but as the viewer, you know there's history behind it, and often there's like a character who revisit that same place, but they have no idea like the history behind it and like the significance behind that place or whatever, or like the item or the find or whatever it is. So I do like that. I hope they do a lot with callbacks to the first game.
Locking down every door and hatchway, so I poke around the immediate area in search of scrap components with which I can fix the breaker box. While this is nothing new, I appreciate the small additional details that the sequel brings. As I hold down a button to repair the circuits, Blake's hands slot a PCB into place and then flip the switches with a satisfying clunk.
Know what you're doing? Not really. No.
In the next room, I find one of Isolation's iconic save stations, which now requires you to hold down the interact button for the agonizing duration of the save process. It's a tiny detail, but one that makes you feel all the more physically connected to the world. Pushing deeper into the lab, I'm met with my first jump scare. The lurching grasp and eerie glowing eyes of the Working Joe androids remain just as creepy to this day. But it's in the lab's central chamber where the real magic show begins. The xenomorph drops from above with an almighty thud. It's not quite the dramatic tail-snaking entrance from the original, but as it towers above my hiding spot, it's clear that this electric game of cat and mouse is once again afoot.
Maybe they did mention it or they will mention it, I don't remember, but like, do they, like, how many years is it after the events of the first one? I'm not, if that's the same alien, then yeah, I'm not sure what the survival aspects of a xenomorph are. So anyway, maybe they'll talk about that.
Unfortunately, while Creative Assembly promises a selection of new tools and tactics to help you wrangle sci-fi's most terrifying predator, I'm equipped with absolutely nothing but my wits for this escape. That means I can't tell you about how Alien Isolation 2 is shaping up to be meaningfully different to its predecessor. Combined with the demo setting being literally a location from the first game, if it weren't for the graphical upgrade, anyone could reasonably mistake this sequence as being from the original Alien Isolation. I'll admit that, after such a long wait, I was hoping Creative Assembly would have chosen something a little bolder for its first showing. Something that would silence my lingering fears that any sequel would be stuck doing more of the same. And yet, even this brief panicked escape from that dome-headed bastard proves the perfect demonstration that there really is nothing else like Alien Isolation. My escape route is blocked by a sudden eruption of searing hot flames, so I sprint for the underfloor vent that I know leads to the exterior corridor. And as I push forward, I hear that sound. The clatter of metal, the rattlesnake-like hiss. For a split second I look backwards, casting the beam of my flashlight along the vent's steel walls, and I see it, a curved, skeletal shadow. The tunnel suddenly feels like a prison rather than a pathway.
Ooh, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that.
A number of projects have riffed on Alien Isolation's.
The first time, oh, like Amnesia. The first time I encountered the alien in the vents, like I had a heart attack. Because you know, there's nothing you can do. You can't like outrun it. events.
Very particular approach. Amnesia the Bunker is perhaps the most similar example, but you can also see the shape of the xenomorph in the recent A Quiet Place game and the modern generation of Resident Evil stalkers. But while all are accomplished in their own right, none of these games offer the same particular adrenaline-spiking thrills as Alien Isolation. Its multi-layered level design and unparalleled approach to enemy AI create a genuinely singular experience. And while Isolation 2's demo is perhaps the most simple, streamlined example of that experience, stripped of all player agency-granting gadgets and tightly controlled for its duration, it's as good a reminder as any that it is the definitive simulation of sci-fi's most terrifying scenario. To do it all over again, even with minimal adjustments to the formula, is something worth trying. It's unsurprising that this short demo was able to so successfully capture the spirit of the original. Alien Isolation 2 is, after all, helmed by the same creative director, built by many of the same people, and its prologue is specifically designed as a bridge between the two projects. And so it's convinced me that it's at least in the right hands. But I'm now more eager than ever to see how this against the odds sequel will build upon its predecessor. It's time, Creative Assembly. Open the doors.
The camera clipping into the character's body kind of annoys me, but it's fine.
Let me outside. Unleash the beast. I'm ready. For more Alien Isolation, check out our interview with director Al Hope to learn even more about the sequel, or check out my own thoughts on the original game. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Alright, let's see what the comments are saying. More the same, had to hide from Alien 5.9. Yep. You still remember your original review? Well, it wasn't his. Sure. I give this video 5.9. That one specific review will forever haunt IGN, and rightfully so. Amazing that the developer would allow IGN in their office. For the sequel, for the love of God, don't let Ryan review it. Yeah, a lot of people referencing the first review, which is no surprise. Well, there isn't a lot of dislikes. I mean, there is, but I expected a lot more. It's probably because it's a different reviewer and not Ryan. If it was Ryan, it probably would have been a shit show, and it probably would have sounded very contradictory to what he put out for his review, and they would have completely shit on this video, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, hilarious stuff. It's always fun to, you know, have discussions about games and movies and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all opinions, but I believe some opinions can be wrong, you know, especially in this case. Well, not his video, but the first review of Alien Isolation. So I'm curious to see what their review is going to be for Alien Isolation 2. I'm probably gonna avoid reviews and play it going in blindly and all that, and then review it myself and then see what other people have to say about it. So that should be fun. But till then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.